Sharing.
I think so. Yeah, recording started.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tammy Bartlett. I'm your Vice President of Government Affairs here at SBA, and I'm here with
Michael Tillman, the legal fellow at SVA.
And we're really excited to have Washington Week underway and coming up here in March. So we are recording today's session as a build upon as ways of as our weeks leading up to Washington Week. Let me get us started. So in today's agenda, we're going to talk through the schedule of events, scheduling your meetings with Hill staff and the members of Congress, and then where to stay and transportation, kind of like things that you want to prepare for now. Bear with me. So schedule events. So things are going to be a little different this year. This year, we're really going to want to empower you all with our policy priorities and our talking points, and have you guys really engage with those two pieces of knowledge and reflect on them and how you can use them in your conversations on the Hill, and how you can utilize that in what you do back on campus, what your best practices are back on campus, or how you can relate to something going on back on campus. So with that, we are going to have on that Sunday evening at 4 p.m. is amplifying SVA's voice. So this is where we're going to have like kind of a sit down, and we're going to go talking through those talking points that we'll provide for you leading up to Washington Week. And when I say talking points, they're just going to be narrowed down policy priorities. Our policy priorities are like 20 plus bulleted points. So narrowed it down to like 4 or 5, but then also expanded on those 4 or 5, giving you some data blurbs in there to help in those conversations. And so that's what that Sunday at 4 p.m. is going to be. It's going to help you amplify your voice up on Capitol Hill, have the opportunity to ask some more direct questions with us, and just become knowledgeable with what you're planning on doing in the next few days. And then Monday and Wednesday is your Inform the Hill days. So March 3rd and March 5th, and I see there's a typo on our slide. So March 3rd and March 5th, we really want you to take advantage of those days on Monday and Wednesday to schedule your meetings to Inform the Hill. The evening of Monday, March 3rd is our Washington Week reception. Location is to be determined. Tuesday is the hearings on the Hill, where the veteran serving organizations will be presenting the policy priorities to the Joint Committee. And then very similar to last year, we had our networking on the Hill, our little luncheon. And then later that evening of Tuesday, you will have a headquarters reception and tour. I will have to say, this slide deck that you're seeing right ahead of you does have a few typos on it. Please refer to the registration and Washington Week website that has all the correct information. Michael, go right ahead.
Thank you. So after that, we're just going to be talking about how to schedule your meetings. What we want you guys to do essentially is first to look up your member of Congress. You could do that by going to the first link above here under Find Your Member of Congress. And essentially you could type in your zip code, but I would recommend you typing your address. It's just more accurate that way. It doesn't save anything, but you'll find your representative for your respective district and where you're in, and then also your state senators. Once you find them, you can contact them by following the second set of links below. To contact your senator, whoever it is, for example, I'm in Virginia right now, so I would click the Senate link right here. This will take me to to the Senate page, and I will look up Senator Tim Kaine, and then it will give me his respective email address to his office if I want to contact them to set up a meeting, or and their respective office number. And the same thing for the House of Representatives. Um, Now, once you get that information that you need, you would want to request a meeting with them. And our best practice is for us to do for you guys to do it via email. And in that email, we want you to include your name, your address, and your university, and just to show that you're a constituent of the respective district or state. Um, Now, the issues you'll be discussing, or you'll want to discuss, will be the policy priorities that we're providing you in the Amplify Your SVA session, but also in the resource materials we'll be providing afterwards. Um, the dates you'll be wanting to meet with them will be either Monday, March the 3rd, or Wednesday, March the 5th. And then if you ever heard anything back after a few days, either by email, they may provide a phone number. I would recommend calling them. But also, we want you guys to also realize that you may not be necessarily meeting with the member themselves. You may be meeting with the staffer, and that's okay. But just keep that line of communication open, and also just be flexible with times that they're giving you. Slide, please. And so we in scheduling new meetings, if you are a constituent um, from any of these representatives you see on the screen here, Senate side or House side, please reach out to SVA Government Affairs staff, meaning Tammy and I, and let us know. We are trying to schedule a meeting with the members specifically, but we also don't want to run into the issue of having like a scheduling conflict where you're scheduling a meeting and get a time confirmed, and then we schedule a meeting and get a time confirmed. We want to make sure things are running most efficiently as possible. You made it, Tammy.
Yes, thank you. So where to stay in DC? Well, there's many options around and accommodations in DC. But please keep in mind, we are not the only event going on. There are other veteran serving organizations having their fly-ins at the same time. But you will want to stay either somewhere between downtown and the Hill, or somewhere that has access to transportation that will get you downtown or the Hill. Um, and please realize the farther away you stay, you do need to come familiarize yourself with that transportation that is available for you within that district. So transportation in and around DC, you can do so with our Metro Rail or Metabus, taxis, ride shares. They have the circular, walking, or wheeling around here in DC. And this is my and Faisal's information. Like I said, we just wanted to give you guys basic information today that you would need to move on today, or at least within this week. So finding out who your members of Congress are, start making those meetings, and start making your accommodations. Anyone have any
And then
questions? Go ahead, Faisal.
and next week's session will be on February 12th. And with that, we'll be going into further detail of how to research your respective representative, whether that be your senator or your House of Rep.
Does anyone have any questions about what we covered today?
There were a couple questions from the chat. First question is, if a chapter is not able to be there Sunday, will they be able to either view the Sunday presentation on the policy priority and talking points, or will they ever be able to live stream it or view the recording? I think I said that.
I'm sure we can work with our marketing team and comms team about live streaming it. If not, what we'll be presenting is really nothing outside of what the talking points they'll have there with them.
All right. Next question. Will slides be distributed at the end of this meeting?
I know the recording will be available. I will have to check with Vanessa to see how she can distribute the slides to those who are attending, or at least those who are registering.
All right. And question, if our school has a federal relations team, do you recommend we reach out to them for information or support?
That's a really good question. I highly recommend that you reach out to them for support. One, it shows you have engagement and a need and want to become involved. Two, they may already have an inside to an email address or a staffer that can get you maybe a meeting with the member themselves. But it can help alleviate some of the speed bumps or the gatekeepers that you might have to that you might get face if you just like cold call or cold email.
New question. What general topics are SVA advocating for this year? Is there anything we can do to help discuss these topics thoroughly with our representatives?
Sure. We are finalizing our 2025 policy priorities, but really nothing that you haven't already all seen before. Comprehensive of GI Bill reform, looking at monthly housing allowance increase, especially on online parity, book stipend increase, things of that nature. But more to follow.
All right, this question is sort of a backtrack into what you said about this week looking at their members of Congress to do what exactly?
So this week, so in these beginning weeks, you're going to want to research your member of Congress. So let me go ahead and flip back to this slide. If that's gonna, you're gonna want to research your member of Congress and start reaching out to the office to make those arrangements for those meetings. The sooner
And
you do that, the better the opportunity is that you can actually get that meeting done on March 3rd and March 5th. Or March.
and they can do that through the links that were presented earlier in the slide, correct?
Correct. Those links will bring them to where they can research who their member of Congress is. And then from there, they can go and it will bring up the direct office name along with the website and information.
Is there an example email for like how to do either a soft intro into introducing their chapter to the Congress member?
I don't think we have any templates out there we're specifically wanting you guys to use. However, just in the email on the same slide, we also recommend some of the just the basic talking points we would want to include. So say, hi, my name is John Smith. I'm part of SVA chapter at Baylor State University, for example. Just want to show that you're an SVA member, that chapter, but also your respective university, because it does show that you're constituent to that particular district or region. I don't think we have any templates specifically.
No, but then continuing off of there saying we're going to be in DC March 3rd or 5th, would hope to be able to have a meeting with your staff to discuss SVA's policy priorities, but then also what we are doing back on our college campus.
Is there a way though, just to get like this put in an email so we don't forget it when we have like about a rough idea of what we can send to, the Congress people and whatnot?
Sure, I can reach out to Vanessa and work on something that we can send out as a blast to those who registered.
Thank you.
Any more, Cameron?
Uh, None coming through the chat, but I'll just drop in my generic questions. Uh, is there going to be a progress update on 2024's policy priorities? So in case a, a chapter wants to like explain how far SVA has gone to a senator or representative who has not been well versed with SVA?
So that's a great question. So with our progress, there was little this last Congress, unfortunately, just because of the nature of it, and it was a large dole package. So education is just such a large chunk, and it's always ever changing. So we just continue to push forward where we can. And the reason you'll see changes in our policy prior, you might see where one thing was maybe our number 1 policy priority last year, but now it's like number 3, is because we've had conversations in the last year where we know things will move further with that one policy, hence why we moved it up further in that category.
Perfect. New question. Is it a requirement that everyone attending Washington Week contact their congressman and request a meeting before the event?
It's not a requirement, but we would love to see you guys have that opportunity to do so. I mean, you are here in DC, so why not? Why not have the opportunity to do that? I mean, you are a constituent of their districts, you are a constituent of their states, and you are in DC where the sausage is made, kind of, as they say. Not very many people think that they can just, knock on the door and see a staff member, but you can. Um, Even if, let's say, your emails get unanswered, it doesn't mean when you are here in DC that you can go knocking on that door and walk in and ask if that staff member is available. That's perfectly fine to do. But I hope you would take advantage of meeting with the staff or attempting to meet with a member that you are a constituent of, because they represent you here in DC and they need to understand and be aware of what you all are doing back on your campuses. And not only be aware of what you're doing, but then also be aware of the barriers and challenges that you're facing. Faisal, I don't know if you have anything you want to add.
Yeah, I mean, I would say definitely take advantage of the opportunity and the time you have while you're here. I mean, you may not necessarily want to meet with your respective representative, but it does give you an opportunity to do that. And if you have any interest in advocacy, or just like working in the realm of government or law, then like this is a really good opportunity for you to try it. And whether you like it, whether you don't, you're not necessarily going to know until you do it. And I always say if you are given an opportunity to work on your public speaking skills, either in a small setting or a larger setting, you should do it. And this is a fantastic opportunity to do so.
All right, next question. What should a student veteran do if the state that they are from or live in is different from the state in which they attend university? Are they allowed to meet with either one or both? Is that a thing?
I don't think that would be really too much of a conflict. I would probably shoot for the state in which they have residency first. But if they, let's say they live in New Jersey but go to school in Pennsylvania, I mean, it is right next door. Um, but if they are here as a group from the school from Pennsylvania, then I would try to go with the school from Pennsylvania.
Nothing hurts sending out an email. So
Yeah.
Could you go to the slide where it showed the HVAC and SVAC house reps that we're trying to meet with? Yes, these guys.
Yeah,
New
so this
question.
is this is the House Veteran Affairs Committee Chairman and Ranking Member, the House Veteran Affairs Economic Opportunity Chairman and Ranking Member. Then you have some of the House leadership, and then you have the Senate Veteran Affairs Committee Ranking Member, Chair and Ranking Member, and then you also have some of the Senate leadership.
All right. Question to follow up from this. Would it be, do you recommend that these chapters reach out to their success coaches if they have a group going to Washington Week so they can coordinate with other chapters in the state/region?
That would be a very smart thing to do, especially if you have a large state like California or Texas or Florida. Um, I know we have quite a few chapters that come up and do and have meetings. It's best off to just have one large meeting because then it shows that SVA is here in volume too.
Perfect. And just to recap, if someone is from either, let's say, Representative Bo's district and or state, you would recommend they reach out to you too.
Yes.
So that's anybody from Illinois, California, Kansas, Connecticut, Wyoming, South Dakota, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Minnesota, Massachusetts, New York, and I think I said Louisiana already. Louisiana.
Yes.
Another question, is there any emphasis being presented to have academic institutions place additional support for veterans who are graduating to get jobs? Seems like a good plug for the SVA Career Center and Advising Center. But if you need more help than the SVA Career/Advising Center and the Success Hub and all of the programs and resources that we offer, then I'd say advocate for it.
Yeah, I would every day I spit out like 2 or 3 emails to get Vanessa and her team to do a presentation on Success Hub. And we actually have one with the Department of Education coming up here soon. So always spreading the word.
Yes, I'll drop the link in the chat for the Success Hub because Success Hub is a great resource for anybody looking for jobs, internships, academic resources, guidance, whatever you need, we got a little bit for you.
thank you, Kim.
No problem. Will there be like a gathering point where student veterans can go? Let's say they had a meeting at 9, their next meeting is until 3 p.m. Is there a hangout location or a general collective location where they can network and meet with other student veterans?
We won't have anything. We won't have anything like designated, but as Bob probably can tell you where the cafeteria is in Dirkston. um, you will soon find where student veterans will like gather in the cafeterias and the coffee shops throughout um, the the buildings.
Dress codes, business, professional for all meetings.
Yes.
Yep, that will be
In
later
the
announced in future webinars.
yeah, thank you.
But that's a good idea, Cam. Maybe in future webinars we'll outline where like the coffee shops are and the cafeterias are located.
Yes. And Union Station's right down the street. So if you need to do a little quick shopping or sitting down, this is great. Question about lanyards and name tags. Will that be a thing so they can be identified as a group of SVA chapters?
I believe the lanyards are a thing this year, but I will have to check back with Vanessa and her team.
This person says they're coming without a chapter. Will there be a way for them to connect with others prior? I'd say there's some people in the chat right now that you could connect with because they seem like they're going. And there'll also be just other groups throughout like SVA's LinkedIn that may be talking about it. Check out LinkedIn, follow other chapters on Instagram to see if they're sending individuals. Reach out to your regional success coach and tell them that you're going by yourself and you'd like to at least have a soft introduction to other chapters, either from your region or your state, so you can meet up with other veterans so you won't be by yourself. See, check the Discord.
So that amplifying SVA's voice, we are going to be on the GW campus for that event, and it's at 4 o'clock. So we're hoping that after the event, everybody will get the opportunity to like start meeting each other and disperse onto the campus and find a place to eat on your own, and networking and grouping can start happening then.
Will they be allowed to meet at the SBA headquarters prior to the start of day one, Inform the Hill? So that way, if they manage to miss everything, they can just show up to the headquarters and possibly just tag along with another chapter or student veteran?
They're welcome to show up there. I don't know if anybody else will be around. It really all will depend on if Faisal and I will be up on the hill already with meetings. But just because you may not have been able to set up a meeting doesn't mean you can't attend with someone else.
Perfect. See, we got some good connections going already in the chat.
For some reason, I can't see the chat. I'm bummed. Sorry, it's having issues. My Teams is having issues today.
Also, if anyone has any other questions and they don't want to, type it out, you're more than welcome to unmute your mic or, camera and do all that. So.
Well, if y'all don't have anything else, we'll see you next week, where we'll get to dive into a little bit of like how to research your member of Congress, find out what bills they've supported in the past, what committees they sit on, things like that. Help you do a little research into the conversation with the staffers. Looks like we got a last minute question.
Hi, Tammy, my name's Robert. I'm the Director of Veterans Affairs and SVA Advisor here at the University of Tulsa, Oklahoma. What would you recommend? I've signed up for all of your webinars. It sounds like the information is going to get progressively better as we get closer to the event. For a university that's never participated in this, what would you say should be my focus with some of my student veterans between now and your meeting next week? Where should I be spending my time to make sure that we're adequately prepared for this event?
Start researching who your member of Congress is, start establishing contacts so you can make those meetings, and then figuring out your transportation and lodging.
Okay, and is there, I'm not finding anything, are there recommendations that SVA has in terms of lodging and transportation? Are there links somewhere where we can see this, or is this kind of a choose your own adventure?
Choose your own adventure.
Okay, great. All right, no problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well, thank you all. Have a good day.